Hi everyone, this is Nadia Pena from Gato and Farm, and this is the first episode of our Love and
Love and love.
This is it's Land and Love or Love and Land.
Love and love.
This is the first episode of our podcast, Love and Land. And we figured we would start this off by introducing ourselves and our farm, and then talking a little bit about why we started farming, what got us on this journey. And I think it's important to know the why because farming is hard, and especially it's hard in general. For anyone who is experienced or who is a beginner, but it's especially challenging for beginners because the learning curve is very steep. It's very costly to get started, and it's a rough journey. So having a strong motivation is very important. So to tell you guys a little bit about ourselves, so I am 35 years old now, and my husband's 37, 38.
Okay.
And we've been out, we moved out here to central New York from North New Jersey about 4 years ago. And I always loved the countryside, but I had given up on that dream. So my family's from the Dominican Republic, and we immigrated to the United States. And like many immigrant families, the dream was to succeed. And the narrative that is pushed, not only to immigrants, but just our generation, this current generation of young people, is that to be successful, you go to college, you go to get into a good college, then you graduate, you go get a job at a big company somewhere, you make a lot of money, you start a family, buy a house, save for retirement, and then one day you get a comfortable retirement. And that's what the life plan is of us, like successful American is supposed to look like. And so that was kind of the path that I was on. And I had no ambition at all when I, graduated to start my own business or anything, let alone farming. But I always had an interest. I liked animals and I liked the countryside. But until I met my husband, and he never heard of me wanting to farm, I never expressed that. We got married. We had three kids, a few kids, and at some point around 2021, 2022, I started to really want to leave the city. So I was working in New York City in a big bank, and we were living in New Jersey, and I was getting more and more anxious. I just felt like I wanted to be closer to nature. I wanted to raise animals, raise my own food. We had a little backyard, and I tried raising some quails there and growing some vegetables, but it was really limited. And I wanted to expand. So I started looking for land. And thankfully, my husband was open to the idea. I had been secretly searching for about a year. Um, and nothing really felt like called me um, powerfully enough to make an offer. But thankfully, once my husband was on board, we started looking at property seriously. And I'll in another podcast episode we can talk about the land search process and how we found our property. But just now, about a year after I started looking, we finally found something that fit our needs and our budget, and we made the move in the middle of winter of 2022. And so, yeah, we've been on this journey ever since. We now raise cashmere goats, and we're trying to be profitable and sustainable so that we can do this full time. But the reason that eventually that came to me, uh, that has kept me going through these challenging startup years, is that I wanted a life for myself. I wanted to build a life for myself and for my family that was different from what mainstream society had to offer. So I felt that, that farming was never really an option for me. It just didn't feel like something that people would recommend as a successful career or a life path, right? So for me, but this lifestyle has so many amazing benefits, and I feel like it has given me control and creative power over my life. I feel like I have control. I can control where my food comes from, what goes into growing my food. I feel that I can control my schedule a bit better. I can take ownership of my time and spend it doing things that are really meaningful to me. And I felt that working in the city and doing the mainstream lifestyle, I didn't have that kind of control. I kind of belonged to the company, right? And I had to be on the company schedule doing whatever the company was telling me to do. And farming does have its own demands that I have to rise up and meet, but I feel like these are challenges that I chose that mean a lot to me, and that I feel are very worthwhile for myself and for my family. So for me, this lifestyle has a lot more meaning, and because of it has meaning for me, I'm more motivated to work hard and do this. And so that's why we're still here. We've had a lot of challenges these past years, but we're still doing it, and we see a path to sustainability and profitability in the near future. Um, so yeah, that's my why. I just wanted to build a life that was different and more meaningful for me and my family, and that would give me more control and more creative power over my time and my energy. So I wonder, anybody who wants to start farming, it's really hard, but if you have a strong why, a strong reason for wanting to do it, then you can do it. It will get you through the rough times. So yeah, thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more of our story and the next episode. Thank you.